And hello, everybody. You're going to see me and Jess. There I am. Ooh. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of WindRiders of Aria. I am Will, or Halfling Wizard, the person behind the curtain. We're going to go around, let everyone kind of introduce themselves, who they're playing, or who they are, who they play, and where is their character... Where is their mind frame right now that they know that they are over certain sections of the ship and that they have responsibilities? Where is their mindset at the moment? And we're going to start down. Let me see who. Eeny, meeny, miny. Let's go with Crazy Gamer Lady.
Hey guys, I'm the Crazy Gamer Lady. You can find me on TikTok under Crazy Gamer Lady. You can also find me on Instagram under Crazy Game Lady, no R. Because thank you, character limits. You can also find me on X under Crazy Game Lady 91. I did not realize that was my username because I haven't checked what my username was in so many years. It's not my fault. Anyway, you can also find me every Saturday now on ADH Adventures, either playing Akasi the Lizard Folk Druid in Unlicensed Magic War Crimes, or you can find me playing Kara Mountainwood. Sorry, we haven't played D&D in a while on that one, just because shenanigans. On Heroes Arc, which is always going to be fun. And of course, you can find me here, right now, where I'm playing Alana Verdant, the first officer on this lovely ship. And, needless to say, she does have reasonable concern about her crew.
When doesn't she?
Not unreasonable, but just a reasonable amount of concern for her crew and about her crew. And she's really hoping things don't get messed up.
Okay.
She always has concern for her crew. Since the day we met.
Sure, let's go with that.
So, all right, let's see. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Let's go to Goose next.
Hey everybody, I'm Goose. I am playing Soot, the Subtin, now the Lieutenant Commander of the ship. And so many buttons, so little time is the big concern.
Yeah, that's mine too. My concern as well.
I figure what each button does himself.
Hey, this is going to be a whole trial and error kind of situation.
But here's the
That's
question.
fair.
Which one's DD1 and which one's DD2?
Yeah. I would say they both think they're Dexter. Let's go, Riku.
Hello, Riku here. Tonight I am playing the Pontori, your captain of the ship, Kerik. I think for Kerik, he's extremely excited about the adventure they're all going on, but deep down there's definitely a bit of nervousness about being put in charge of the entire ship. So that should be an interesting experience to come about soon.
That is fair. That's fair. All right, let's go to Kel next.
Hey guys, I'm Kel, also known as the Celtic Wyvern King. Sorry, my camera want to be just a little stupid there. But I am playing Lieutenant Commander A, one of the chief engineers. And I'm just ready to see what every button I push does. Whether we're in the air or not, we'll see what happens.
You guys, you're gonna make me pull this airship over.
Hey, like I put in the group chat, it's a 50-50 shot between me and Soot breaking something by pressing the button just because we want to see what it does. It's a 50-50.
please, please.
I'm just
please don't
concerned with
break
how many
things,
feet we
please.
actually drop at one time.
That's fair.
We'll be fine.
Can you at least make sure it's over water when you mess up? At least then we won't have civilian lives on our hands.
No promises.
Fingers crossed.
Though technically, civilian lives could be in play because Panturi live in the water, depending on the type.
You're not
love
how
helping
you're-
your argument.
I love how you're trying to
all.
justify crashing the ship into the ocean.
No, I'm not just fine. I'm just trying to say, doesn't matter where we crash, there's potential loss of civilian life if we crash.
Fair. Okay.
Now, do we want it? No. Can it happen? Maybe.
That's fair. That's fair. I get it. All right. Wormslayer.
Hi, everybody. I am Gatho Freddy. Old Wormslayer, and I'll be playing Gatho Freddy, the commander in charge of the transportation part of the ship. And two certain little individuals are not allowed in the quarter because he doesn't want them messing up the submarines.
That's fair.
At least not without supervision.
Not without supervision. All right. And of course, last but not least, Lisa.
Hello, I'm Lisa, D&D Winterwolf on TikTok and Discord. I will do where you can find me during my outros. I play Lieutenant Commander Katerina Zafirian, the security officer. So I'm excited to find out all about what kind of defenses the ship has, and I am also not going to let A or Soot anywhere near the armory or the munitions. So there you go.
Okay. As long as the ship doesn't have weapons, you don't have to worry about that.
Challenge accepted.
Has
What?
anyone
the
noticed
problem
that
Oh, it
most
does,
of our
but we have a
concern is
munitions
literally
officer. You don't get to jump in there.
Soot?
Yeah. So did you just say it depends if the ship has weapons or not?
Yeah, because if the weapons are mounted on the ship, yeah, A's going to want to see them.
Well,
If they're not mounted, like when they say armory, like,
Nope.
oh, hey, go prepare to be boarded, grab your guns. Okay, he's not going to care.
Okay.
I feel like
No,
they
we
have
have a
both.
munitions officer, so you don't get to do that.
That is true. There is a munitions officer.
I was going to reciprocate what Soot said with, challenge accepted.
Don't you just
you
love
guys are
how everyone's mutual concern is literally A and Soot?
Yeah,
That's
I know.
because they are the ones that have access to the self-destruct sequence.
And I didn't say anything about having concerns.
That's true.
I'm
That
more
is true.
concerned about myself.
That's fair. Yeah, he's like, I'm more concerned about me, less about you. Even though it should be
You
more-
have a
the
first
opposite.
officer to handle the crew.
I'm more concerned about me, but by being concerned about me, I'm concerned about everybody.
Fair enough. That's very fair. Okay, so sorry. Sorry, I have to put another NPC on the list of NPCs. All right. So when last we were here,
Cal.
yeah, no, that's a whole different thing. I'll have to figure out where that one's going to go. So when last we were here, the crew, that's all of you guys, took official control of the WindRider. You guys had your first debrief, which was very formal, and then I believe Captain Carrick asked the bridge crew to leave and leave only his executive crew in the room, in which he turned into a 12-year-old girl and squealed and was very excited, which was fun.
He's excitable. What can he say?
No, I think it's great. And then you guys got to see one of the things that the WindRider, one of its sort of defenses, or whatever. You guys got to see it cloak. You got to see the chromatophoric panels flip to basically create a cloak. So it's not perfect, but it'll do in a pinch. You guys are out over the ocean at this point. You have a few hours, say a few hours. Where you're heading, it's going to take you probably about half a day to a day's journey to get there. So you have time. So you have time to explore the ship, to kind of meet your crew. If you have a specific crew under you, you'll have a chance to meet with them and just sort of get your bearings. So we're going to start from the bridge and work our way to the engine room. So, Captain Kedrick, you are on duty, sir, along with Captain Archibald, who is your pilot, basically, or your helmsman, you might say. You also have Lieutenant Vales, who is your communication officer, Lieutenant Commander Zarish, your science officer, Lieutenant Abrams, your navigations officer, and Lieutenant Zaaran, your chief mechanics officer.
I hope Abrams' first name isn't JJ.
It is not.
It's KK Abrams, okay?
We don't have the budget for lens flares.
Exactly. Yeah, it does. Lens flares is too much.
They're doable in Unreal. I think we could get them in for the next intro.
Okay. The best I could do is sort of, there you go.
That'll do.
Yes.
There, JJ
Abrams, don't sue us for your filming style.
All right, so Captain Kedrick, how's it on the bridge? What's he up to?
I'm thinking Kedrick is still in that kind of excitement, although a little bit too a little bit more calmed down than he was earlier. But he is walking around the bridge right now, very interested in seeing like what folks are doing, and trying to gather like as much knowledge as he can about what everyone is doing, what their jobs are, so that he can better understand his crew. At the same time, it's probably so much information that most of it is probably not sticking. So it's like partially making an effort to get to know everybody, but at the same time, complete ADHD in one ear, out the other sometimes. But he's happy to talk to everybody. He's trying to learn. He's trying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So you're walking around the bridge.
Hmm.
Oh, also Commander Alana is there as well.
Oh, yes, of course.
And so you're walking around, just sort of getting to know the stations, and are you interacting with the crew?
Yeah. I'd assume anyone who's on the bridge with me, I'd probably introduce myself to, ask their names, ask what they do, and just try to make more familiar, like little bit of just small talk conversation as much as possible in his own little awkward way.
Okay. No, that's great. Okay, so yeah, so as you're kind of wandering around, Captain Archibald, sorry, he'll say, Captain, would you like to take her for a spin?
Sure. That could be fun.
Okay.
And so you see like this big old smile come on his face.
Sorry. It's like all right, so he and and it's not it's and it has like the old world, like the ship's wheel. It's it's metal and it's cooler, but yeah. So he's like, sure, if you'll come here, and he says, if you'll hold it like this, and he shows you how to hold the wheel. And he goes, and he's like, it's very intuitive.
Okay.
So just be, slightest move, the ship will go that way. I mean, it's literally, and it doesn't take much for it to turn. So he's like, you got to make sure you keep it steady. And Evan, and he was like, here's the horizon line. And he shows you sort of a compass with the horizon line marked. He's like, you want to keep that level. And then, and he shows you also around the steering apparatus. You see several levers and knobs and things. And he goes, and this is for attitude adjustment. This is for if we need to go stern or
attitude adjustment.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah, attitude adjustment.
I mean,
know
is
a
it a
few folks
bare
I probably
hand? Is it a
could use
belt?
that on.
Is it a what? Is it a shoe? Is it a chancla?
It is indeed. It is a giant chancla.
Commander
No, it's a
Alana,
John
I
Cena
believe this is
picture.
yours.
I believe that belongs to security.
Security being somebody's grandma.
Yeah. And he'll tell you here's the flaps. Here are all of the things that you need to keep us on course. And of course, and then she'll say, and Lieutenant Abrams will make sure that you have all of the sort of coordinates and where you need to make adjustments and that sort of thing. So it's very, but the wheel is very, very sensitive.
Okay. So as Kadek is kind of holding the wheel, you can kind of see his hands sort of kind of shake, but like both from excitement and nervousness. Especially as he says like, oh, the littlest movement takes a lot. And I'm like, oh boy. But he's like holding on to it and he is full on trying to steer the ship. And I was like, and he's just, I think after a little bit of standing up there and holding on to it, and as long as nothing goes wrong, he begins to calm down and just really enjoy it.
Okay, cool. Roll mechanical check for me.
All right.
Okay. As you sort of take the wheel, it's much stronger against you than you expected it to be. So it's sort of fighting you a little bit. You're able to maintain. So you don't lose control or anything like that. There's no sudden movements. So I mean, because the two's pretty good. So but it is like, you can feel how it is really kind of pushing against your muscles. Like it is like you're really having to kind of hold it in place. And if you look at Captain Archibald, I mean, he's a kind of stocky guy. He's tall, very kind of muscled, or defined. And so you can see that probably years of this has sort of given him that bulk, you might say.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like this wheel wants to just go based on where the wind is blowing, and you're really having to like kind of like hold it in place.
I could see how you can handle this ship, Captain. This is all the props to you. This isn't easy.
No, it's you get used to it. He goes, it took me a while when I first started flying. It took me a while to get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
But you do. Eventually it becomes sort of second nature and you can just sort of step right into it.
I see that.
Then suddenly Lieutenant sorry, not Lieutenant Vales, my bad. Lieutenant Abrams says course correction and spouts off a set of coordinates. And so Captain Archibald says, okay, here we go. You ready? So you're going to take that knob and you're going to turn it twice. He points to this sort of knob there.
Yeah.
And when you take your hand off the wheel really like wants to, yeah. So he's like, yep, you got to hold on to the wheel. You got to really kind of hold tight.
Gotcha.
And then you're going to flip that switch, then that switch. And then on your right-hand side, you're going to slide to the right, to the red zone.
Okay. Like that.
Yes. Perfect. Okay. Good job, sir. Good job. And then you will and he's like, now you'll turn your wheel to your right.
Okay.
Just slightly, probably about 1/4 turn.
Okay.
And this is really, when you're trying to turn it, it's like whoosh, I mean it goes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so he's like, you want to be careful. So he's like, because it will take off with you. It'll take off with you.
Oh, okay.
And so he kind of catches you a little bit there, and he's like, okay. He's like, and then you see the ship start to turn. You see the clouds kind of moving as you course correct. He goes, well done, Captain.
Kadek is just like, as he turns in it, he feels the ship start to make that turn. You could see that twinkle in his eyes as he's watching out as everything shifts, and he's just like, internally, he's almost like, this is actually happening, isn't it?
Yes, sir. It's quite exhilarating. Is this your first time flying?
Well, unless you count the cars down by the academy, then if you don't count that, then yeah, it is. Even that first time wasn't a pleasant experience for me. This is a lot more pleasant.
Yeah, and once you get the hang of it, it'll be like old hat.
I'm sure
you'll be driving these ships in your sleep. Would you like to fly the ship for a little while?
Sure. I would like to. I would love to give it a shot. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. I'll be right here.
Fantastic.
So, all right. So, Alana, Commander Alana, what are you doing? I mean, you're watching Captain Caddick basically get his first flying lesson. So, as first officer, what are you up to?
Alana has grabbed whatever information she can grab about where we're going and
Okay.
is studying that.
Okay. If you talk to Lieutenant Abrams, they can tell you. Yeah, they can interpret all that for you.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely talking with somebody who knows more than me.
Okay.
Which would be everybody, but that's another story. Anyway,
Okay. So, what do you want to know?
first off, where the hell are we going?
And Lieutenant Abrams will take a large chart out of the southern seas, and they'll show you. It'll have circled on the map as a small sort of grouping of islands in the deep, deep, deep southern sea, way out of like shipping lanes. It's really sort of falling down in towards the sort of tropical zone of the planet. And they'll say these islands here, we call them the Seascape Islands, but the natives have other names for them. But we have that is our destination. We have a post there, an outpost.
All
That's
right.
where we're headed. And
Any
they'll tell you
customs?
all. Oh, I'm sorry, and they'll tell you all about the islands. I think that's where you were going next.
Yeah.
Like customs and yeah. He'll tell you that you don't have to worry about customs because you never leave the outpost. The natives, although friendly, don't like us outside of our compound.
Fair enough.
Yeah, because they're very traditional. They don't like the sort of modernism. They're very tribal. They live off the land. They're very nature based, and
So they're a tropical hempstead. Got it.
yeah. And they're very much like, leave us be. Yeah, you can hang. You can have an outpost here, but no other than
But
that.
don't
no
start
input.
shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the outpost is on one of the smaller islands in that group.
Okay. Well, we're definitely going to be looking for other things than that, but
Yeah.
wouldn't it be nice if what we were looking for was just in the outpost?
Wouldn't that be nice? So yeah, and so they tell you about the islands are sort of volcanic. They're lush tropical. The main island is more volcanic than any of the others. The smaller island that the compound is on does not necessarily have a volcano on it, but was formed by volcanic activity. So every once in a while there are sort of volcanic tremors. But for the most part, it's pretty. It's tropical living. It's not by any means what you have here, but
Okay.
anything else I can help you with, Commander?
No, I think I've got this. And she's gonna look over at the navigation stuff.
Okay.
Is there any way I could learn anything about that?
Well, you'll have to talk to Lieutenant Abrams about that. Well, who you're talking to, but you want what Captain's doing or the actual navigation aspect?
Like the navigation aspect.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, Lieutenant Abrams will show you that. Like, oh yeah, it's real easy. I mean, it's mostly keeping an eye on horizon and compassing, and I mean it's literally like old school sailing. And they'll show you because they've got their whole section of the bridge is nothing but charts. charts and compasses and a spyglass and you name it. They've got all of the navigational equipment there. And he'll take you out onto the observation deck and show you kind of how to use all of the equipment if you want.
Sure.
Because he'll say there, yeah, we're on course, so we won't have another course correction for probably about a couple of hours. So, yeah.
You're asking a nerd if she wants to learn something new.
Okay. That's fair. So he'll pick up his sextant and his compass and his little sort of notebooks and he'll say, "Follow me," and he'll head out to the observation deck out on the front of the bridge. And he'll say, "Normally I could just do this from my station, but it's so much more thrilling when you're out on the observation deck. So follow me." So he takes you out onto the observation deck. And out once you get out there, there's like a whole little station out there that he has all of his equipment set, or he has a place for all of his equipment to set. And he begins to show you. He's like, "Here's the charts," and he's like, "We use the sextant to align," and he just starts explaining everything to you and shows you how to mark it on the maps and how to give course corrections to the helm by translating and that sort of thing. And he lets you, here, give it a shot. And he gives you like the sextant and the compass. And he tells you, there are certain points on the horizon that he focuses on. We know that the sun, rises here, sets here, so we follow that notation to go west to east. He's like, as we get towards the evenings, and there are certain stars that we follow. So he also has star charts as well. And he's just laying it all out for you. He's like, once you become familiar with the points of interest, the sort of key points that we focus on, he's like, the rest of it just falls into place. As long as you know the 4 basic compass positions. He's like, it's really easy. It's not really that difficult at all.
So while he is talking, you will see Alana with a completely different notebook than she used to have, just jotting down all the navigation stuff she's learning.
Awesome. Okay. Cool. All right, so let's go next. Let's go to Commander or Lieutenant Commander Katarina, who is in her security office.
Well, I have a station on the bridge. If I
You do.
understood right.
The security office is just off the bridge.
Okay. Actually, she's not there either. She is.
Oh.
She has gone down to the armory.
Oh, okay.
She wants to see what kind of defenses the ship has. So she wants to meet with Lieutenant Commander Narish, the armory chief.
Norish.
And find out
Okay.
how we get a defender. What you got?
Okay, cool. So yeah, as you go down to the armory. Now the armory is just like weapons storage.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, these are weapons I'm not familiar with, so
okay, so did you call Lieutenant Commander Norrish to meet you at the armory?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because that's not where he stays.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a closet almost. It's not
right.
And there are several of them.
Right. I just want to familiarize myself with the weaponry.
Okay. Cool. So Lieutenant Commander Norris will meet you at the main deck armory. He'll meet you there. He'll be like, Lieutenant Commander, good morning.
Good morning.
And of course, he reintroduces himself as Lieutenant Commander Norish, Armory Chief. Very excited to serve under you. Shall I show you the armory, or at least the main deck armory?
Absolutely. Let's see what we got.
Okay. And he goes to a keypad and he types in a password, which you also have. And he unlocks. He opens the door. He goes inside, turns on the light. Inside this armory, it's all sort of sidearms. And he'll tell you that this armory is primarily to protect and defend the bridge if the ship is ever invaded, boarded, or any of that. So in there are a number of like handguns, mostly. A lot of them are very much like projectile sort of weaponry. And he does say now here, and he opens up another cabinet, and he goes, "These are away mission weapons. These are actual particle weapons that are only used when you're on an away mission, because you don't want to fire a particle weapon on board the ship."
No. Do you have a way? Most of the new crew were not familiar with these weapons, so I'd like to get everybody kind of certified and familiar with them. Absolutely.
When we get to our destination, we can do a total training on the particle weapons.
Okay.
And the standard weaponry as well, but especially the particle, because you can't practice particle weaponry on the ship.
Right. I just don't want people going down there with weapons they're unfamiliar with. So
right. Well, when we get to the outpost, you won't necessarily need weapons, but we can. He's like, we can train everybody. Everybody will be trained.
Okay. And how many armory closets are there on the ship, and where
there are 2 on the main deck here. There's one on the starboard side, one on the oh my god, my brain just left me. What's the other one? Port. Thank you. Good port. There's one on the starboard side, one on the port side. On each of the other decks, there is one armory closet.
Okay.
And each deck has its own sort of armorer who's in charge of distributing arms to people.
Okay. Now, if we were to go to somewhere where they were not, something where we would have to blend in and not have more advanced weaponry, do you have swords, bows, more?
Yeah, we can not replicate it, but we have that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds like you have it well in hand.
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions for me?
No, ma'am. You call, I'm ready to answer.
Thank you. Let's have a good flight. And then I'm going to go to try and meet with Lieutenant Commander Nemitz.
Okay.
The munitions chief.
Okay. And you'll see that Lieutenant Commander Norris closes the door, locks it back in place, double checks it, and away he goes.
Who all has that password? Just curiosity.
Myself, you, and I'm the only one that has you and I are the only ones that have passwords to all of the armory doors. We have a master password, and then all the armorers have the password, because when we go to stations, we go to battle stations, each of them has to be able to open their own armory. But other than that, that's it.
Okay. Good.
I mean, the captain has access to it as well, but
sounds good. All right.
All right, and then you're going to head to the munitions officer.
Yep.
Okay. All right, cool. So as you go, you will meet Lieutenant Commander Nemitz, who is sort of he's a little bit of a squirrely man, sort of not necessarily like off-putting, but not necessarily the most friendliest of people.
Curmudgeon, curmudgeon-y.
yeah. I mean, he's very, yeah. He's just like, I have a job to do, and you being here is getting in the way of me doing that job. Type of attitude.
Yeah.
I mean, he's respectful, but you could tell that he's like, if you weren't here, I could actually be doing my job.
Gotcha.
type of mentality. Yeah, and he's an older gentleman. He's obviously he's older than she is. And that doesn't make he's not all like, I can't, no young girl's gonna tell me what to do. He's literally like, just, if you weren't here, I could be doing my job.
Yeah.
If anybody was here, if everybody would just leave me alone, I could do my job.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. So you'll come upon his sort of office area.
Lieutenant Commander, good morning.
Ah. Well, it was a good morning. Yes, ma'am. What can I do for you?
Well, I just was hoping you'd give me an overview on the defenses for the ship.
Okay. So he gets up out from behind his desk, walks over to a bookshelf, pulls a book off the shelf, tosses it to you, and he says, everything you need to know is in there. Now, can I get back to what I need to do? Ma'am.
Well, I would like to actually see the munitions, and then I will read the book.
All right. He stands back up, goes over, and gets the keys. You'll follow me. He goes, he just walks on. And he goes to, there's sort of a doorway at the back side of his sort of office there that leads to a spiral staircase that goes up and up and down the full width of the ship, or the height of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
He starts to go down the stairs. He goes, all right, keep up. And he's like bustling down these things, like almost sliding down them. As he gets in about 3 decks down, he stops, and you can hear him jingling his keys to open up doors. And he goes, "This is the munitions access shaft. Only myself and other authorized personnel are allowed in this shaft, including yourself, ma'am. Although I don't really know why you would be here, but if you needed to be, you could be." Now,
well, I totally trust that you have a good understanding of the operations. I just want to be able to understand what you're discussing if there's a problem. I'm going to defer to your expertise.
I appreciate that. So, no one gave you a rundown of anything, huh? So you...
Nope.
Oh, well. Just add that to my list of things I've got to do today. All right, so here on this deck, this is the weapons deck. This is where the big boom booms go. As you walk out through the doorway, you come upon it's almost like an aircraft carrier deck with large sort of cannons that are retracted at the moment, but you can see where they would go forward and come out, in and out. These are our main percussive cannons. We've got 6 on each side of the vessel. All of these are controlled by the bridge. Secondary controls are here. And he shows you a control panel on this side. He's like, and there's a secondary control on the other side as well.
Oh no.
Oh, okay. That's fine. So he comes out and he's like, so on this side of the ship, you will find the big boom booms. There are 6 of them on each side of the ship. Down this corridor, you will find 6 of the big cannons. These 6 cannons fire a shot the size of half of this. And he just shows you this big, gigantic thing, which is basically a weapon. I mean, like a cannonball. And he says,
Wait,
if you'll follow me.
Do an interpretive dance.
He is.
I am. So he says, if you'll follow me this way, and he sort of says
Somebody claimed one.
to the other side, and he says, you'll see here along this corridor are 6 more cannons. And he goes, yes. And so the cannons are secondary firing mechanism is here. And he shows you the big panel there. And he's like, if you will follow me this way. And he says, here on this deck, you will find the harpoons. These are our grappling harpoons. If we are in an air battle with another ship, we can fire these harpoons and bring the ship to us where we can board.
All I can think of is Fossy, Martha Graham.
Martha Graham, yes, Twyla.
Yeah.
Spirit fingers. So, and he goes, those are the primary weapons. Any questions?
I have one question.
Mm-hmm.
What do you need? What do you not have to do your job that you need that I can help you with?
Oh, I need you to go away.
I can do that. You have enough crew?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay. Good talk.
Indeed.
As you were.
And he just turns and walks away. As you're saying, as you were, he's already gone.
Yeah.
He's like on his way back to his office.
And I'm going to take that book.
Which is huge. It's a massive book.
I go carry it back up to the bridge to the armory office there and start reading. Okay. Oh, I do also want to set up a meeting with those security teams.
Okay.
Like maybe in the afternoon and ask Commander Elena to attend just to.
Absolutely. That's fine. Yeah, you can call that for sure.
Okay. And then I will ask as soon as she comes back onto the off the observation deck. At some point, I will ask her if she'd like to attend a meeting with the security team at 1300.
Okay. Excellent. Okay.
All right. So 1300. That's
1 p.m.
Oh, okay.
Love it. No, 1300. What is that?
Fair question.
All right. Let's go to engineering, shall we?
Oh, Lord.
I know.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Second concern.
So, A and Soot. Lieutenant Commanders A and Soot. So you are both in engineering at this point.
Mm-hmm.
What is happening down here?
I'm pretty sure we're both just literally looking over every nook and cranny, just going like, ooh, and A's just trying to see like, okay, so this is connected to this is going to this is going to this. Oh, that's how they do that. I thought of it a different way. Like, because he probably saw some pieces that he even thought of, but his ways were way inefficient, and these are way better.
Okay. Cool. You
It's
have
gonna be
an
like
entire engineering crew down there with you, by the way.
Oh, A's probably completely ignoring him because he's still just much like how Carrick was when we were in the briefing room. He's just acting like a little girl, just going like, ah!
I think they're like, and the funny thing about it is, I think they're like standing around, waiting for you to give them orders.
Yeah, like I said, A's ignoring because he's too mesmerized by the stuff. I can't speak for Soot, obviously.
That's fair. So, okay. So, what are you up to?
Soot is actually going to be pretty close to A, kind of like pointing things out, like kind of like drawing the shapes of like everything with his fingers and everything. But like in passing, he's going to be like, I'm really proud of Kedek for actually keeping his chunks in his stomach this time.
Hey, that wasn't my fault. Now, and just get back to it.
Funny. Okay.
And I'm pretty sure it's probably like going to be a switch or something that we're going to take a look at, and I don't know between Soot or I who's going to try and reach for it, just see what's connected to. Not necessarily that A would pull it, but see like what mechanism might be connected to.
Okay. Well, I mean, there are plenty of buttons and levers and knobs and sliders. I mean, there's plenty of manipulatable items in the engineering section. At which you will, at one point, you will hear the sort of like a call from the bridge. That is this is going back to when the captain was making a course change.
Yeah.
So you hear a call come down from the bridge from Lieutenant Abrams saying that we're making a course change. We're shifting to these coordinates, and basically you guys should know what to do with that.
Do you know what button we push?
Is it this one?
Like I am 99% positive it's this one.
Why don't you roll those mechanic checks and let's see what happens?
I was going to say, I'm going to look at the one that he's pointing at and then push a different one.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Okay, I got a surge.
Yep.
I figured out who is who, Will.
Oh God.
8 is Mandark. Soot is
Nah.
Dexter.
Nah, other way around there. Other way around.
Okay.
No.
Hey, we both did well.
Yeah.
No, Dexter's. Soot is Dexter because he's the short one.
That's funny. All right, so you guys both rolled very well. So, yeah,
Thankfully.
you both know which levers to turn or to hit. You know the sequence that you need to do. You're like, oh yeah, it would be this. So, here's the question: Do you do it in that order? Do you do it as you're like, oh, it should be this, 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 and this, or do you do your own thing? Do you make it your own and have your own way of doing things? Like, tell me, what is y'all's engineering style?
What? Oh no. Ask Karen why you
luck and hope for the best.
Well, that's a 3. It's not bad. I mean, it's pretty lucky. Pretty lucky.
How high up in the air are we right now?
Oh, you guys are way up.
Okay, so for the sake of self-preservation, until A sees everything more so, he's going to attempt to do in the order it's supposed to. I can't. Again, I don't know what Soot's 3 is going to give him.
Well, with your mechanical expertise there, you're able. You do what you got to do, and you'll hear the roar of the engines as you feel the ship lift just slightly to port.
Yeah.
And then you do the reverse in order to maintain where it needs to be.
Yeah, I think at that point, A is going to probably turn around and notice this engineering crew standing there and go like, oh, right, we have you guys. That's verbatim how A is going to say it.
Yeah.
And Soot's going to be standing on the side and kind of look at the crew. He did great, didn't he, guys? And start a slow clap.
And they just sort of look, and they're just sort of like,
Hold on. Goose, is Soot on my shoulder or Soot on the ground?
He's on the ground now.
So they start slow clapping with you, like
So-
really, like sort of. Okay, this is new.
So
It's like
when
a
Soot-
yay, he did his job.
when Soot does that, I just want to kind of like side push them off the platform we're on, like where they won't like to this the next flat level down, like the 3-foot drop probably is.
Okay. So the crew is sort of like one of the crew members steps forward and he says, he's like his name is Lieutenant Dane, not Dan, Lieutenant Dane. And and he goes, sirs, should we just get back to work?
Yeah, I don't care. Do what you need to do.
Okay. So he sort of turns and tells everybody else, and everyone else kind of goes back to their stations and starts doing what they do, coming and going, doing what they do. And they're going to come to you with reports like, here's where the boilers are at, here's where this is at, this is where, we have this, that. So they're bringing you all sorts of like updates and things of that nature. So what do you guys do? So they're going into their normal habit, and you guys are just standing there watching them, or
I want to take a closer look at the what's actually powering this thing.
okay.
I'm gonna start reading through the reports and stuff like that to try and get an idea of how all of this stuff works.
Good luck opening Will's brain.
Cool. All right, so you're gonna so you're reading reports. You're gonna look over check out the engines.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm gonna let you do that, and I'll come back to you. Let's go to Gath. We're gonna go down to the transport bays. So Gath, you're down there with all of the transport vehicles. That's the subs, the air cars, the land vehicles, the everything. And it's huge. The transport bay runs the entire length of the ship on not the very bottom deck, but pretty close, the last two decks. Because there is a hatch down below that that vehicles can be lowered through, down and brought in, and that sort of thing. So what are you up to?
First, I'm going over basically all the details of what vehicles we have, how many of them we have, the general routine of maintenance shifts on them whenever there's repairs needed on them or anything like that.
Okay. So as you sort of go through and sort of inspecting, the subs, we'll say we're going to say you start with the subs because those are the things you're the most familiar with. You guys are fun.
And the biggest sense of pride for me on this ship.
Yeah. And these subs are very similar, but these are a little different than the subs from back home. They're the same sort of design, but these are a little bit more advanced. Yeah. They have probably some technology that you're not familiar with 100%. You're familiar with the idea of it, but probably haven't interacted with it a whole lot. But they're pretty impressive. And there's different sizes. There are like the personnel transport subs, which can hold up to about 8 to 10. And then there's like a large submarine that could probably hold probably a good portion of the crew. And then you have some sort of 4-man and 2-man, those sorts of things. There's various sizes. They're all pretty impressive. They all seem to they're all very slimlined, more so than the subs from back home, which allows for it to cut through the water better. These subs, you can tell these subs are built for speed and accuracy, and stealth.
Where ours are more for
Yeah, for
general
everyday
day-to-day
use.
work.
Yeah. These are very, very militarized, basically. But if you go inside one, you'll notice the controls are almost identical to the controls from back home. They're very intuitive. The minute you sit down behind, you're like, oh yeah, I could totally drive this without any problems.
All right. And once
So
everything,
do you go on board one of the subs just
yes,
to check
I
it
do.
out? All right, cool. So we'll say you go on board one of the ones that is closest to you, which would be like a personnel transport. This one's about 8 to 10 people. When you walk in through the side entryway there, you'll see the multiple lines of seats for the personnel to sit in. And then, of course, there's a door that goes to the cockpit. It's very, very simplistic. It's a single deck submersible. And if you go and you sit down in the seat and kind of familiarize yourself, as you're sitting there and just sort of taking it in, you'll hear behind you, excuse me, sir.
I will turn and look.
And behind you, you'll find a gentleman. Sort of first glance, he's sort of like 5'9", like maybe in his 30s ish. He's sort of lean and wiry. He has a slight hunch, not like a hunchback, but just sort of like leans forward. His hair is sort of wild and unruly, dark brown. He wears sort of like he looks like he's wearing sort of like a mechanic's suit, sort of oil on it and all sorts of stains. And he wears these sort of goggles on his head. He looks a little crazed, and he has a big smile expression on his face. And he sort of salutes you, but which you don't really salute in this sort of organization, but he's just sort of like he's just like, it's almost like he's seeing his hero for the first time. He's so lit up. And he just is like, oh, Commander, this is so exciting to finally get to meet you. I heard you were on board, and I've been wanting to meet you so much. And this is a great honor. This is a great honor. Yes, it is. It's a great honor. Great honor.
All right. Just take a moment and breathe. Slowly.
Okay.
What can I help you with?
Oh, nothing. I just wanted to introduce myself. Oh, stupid me. I'm Lieutenant M. Adder, but you can call me Matter. Everybody else does. I'm your chief mechanic, and it's super thrilling to be working with you, sir. I have so many ideas. You have no idea. So many. I've got books and books and books of them, and I would love for you to look at them. I have ways of making things more efficient on the subs. I have ways of making them faster in the water. I have ways of making them stealthier in the water. I have so many ideas.
Okay. Well, for starters, could you tell me what changes have been made to this ship versus the Fendrisian models?
Oh, okay. So these models are more slender. They're sleeker, so they slip through the water as opposed to cut through the water. They also have sort of this really cool new sonar technology that allows us to like detect even the smallest of things a mile away, if not more. It also has stealth technology, very much like the WindRider has. It's a little more different, but it's very, very much the same. It also has the ability to separate into 2 subs in case of crisis. There is sort of like the front becomes its own sort of submersible, while the back becomes a sort of escape pod sort of thing. He just lists, he just goes and goes and goes. The controls are slightly more simplistic, only because of what it needs to do. That these subs are specifically made for infiltrating, as opposed to like just traveling somewhere. So you wouldn't necessarily take this on vacation. I mean, I guess technically you could, but he's like, oh yeah, but it's for like stealth, like sneaking into places underwater, which is so exciting. So, he's, like,
what about
super enthusiastic.
weaponries in case of?
Oh yes, there's all sorts of
being detected?
weaponry. Yes, sir, the weaponry. And he starts to list off the weaponry. And he talks about percussive torpedoes. There are torpedo-style weaponry. He does also talk about how if it ever separates, the front can actually turn from water to land. It does have the ability to sort of treads come out underneath, and it can become like almost like a tank. And there is a particle weapon that only works on land. It doesn't work under the water. But he's like, but I'm working on that. I'm working on a particle weapon that works underwater. It's one of my big projects. I'm glad you like it, Mad Hatter.
Who oversees the drawing a blank?
It's okay.
Besides you, for those under my command, who oversees the overall maintenance of the subs when it comes to like, or any of the transports for that matter, when it comes to daily maintenance, or if
Oh yes, sir.
should it
You have
ever
a-
happen,
you have-
repairs from damage.
Oh yes, sir. You have a whole mechanic crew, and they're waiting for you in the mechanic bay.
Oh,
I just had to come and say hello, because this is super exciting to have you here, sir. And I look forward to serving you well, sir.
all right. Well, leave me to them then.
Yes, sir. And he's like, if you'll follow me, sir. And then he starts going out. And he will lead you down the sort of hangar bay into a central area that is about half the length. There's 2 of them, one on either side of the central shaft. But they're basically repair bays. And then in the stern repair bay, you'll find your entire mechanic staff is there. You have a mechanic staff of about 26 guys and gals, and they take shifts depending. There's 2 shifts, so half of them are always here, and half of them are either sleeping or, entertaining themselves in some way. So he has gathered an entire mechanic staff, and they're there. What would you like to say to them?
Greetings, crew. I am Commander Death Alfredi. I'm going to be your superior officer for this section of the ship. One thing that I want to make sure is clear: our 2 chief engineers are not to be anywhere near these ships without having somebody watching them.
Yes, sir. The lieutenant says with an enthusiastic snap. We'll make sure that they never set foot here unless you are informed of their presence.
Sorry, a lot of this technology originates from my country, so I'm
Yes.
very protective of it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And he's super, like, he is smiling from ear to ear. He is just so excited to be here.
And
He gets super enthusiastic. I get, leave me alone. You know?
Yep.
There's got to be one of each in every crew. You get the patient teachers,
Yep.
you get the overachievers and the bootlickers, and you get the one dude who's like, I really don't want to deal with you at all.
oh, before I forget,
Yep.
matter,
Yes, sir.
don't share any of your ideas with the chief commander aide.
The engineers. Yes, sir. No, sir. These are for your eyes only, sir. And mine, of course, because I wrote them. But yes, absolutely. Shall I get the crew to work, sir?
Yes.
Aye, sir. And he turns around and he's like, all right, A shift, you're on duty. B shift, go, rest, enjoy yourselves. And you'll see them sort of begin to split out. A shift begin immediately. They start picking up. They're repairing and getting things ready to go. They're doing general maintenance on things, double checking. They get to work. And Matter's Lieutenant Matter is right in the fray of it. Standing there, he goes by and he observes and makes sure that everyone is doing what they need to do, has what they have. Yeah, and he goes, "Oh, sir, yes, this is your office, sir." And he takes you to your office, which is huge, full of blueprints of the vehicles and a nice desk, and it's very industrial-ish. Everything's very metallic, and but it's comfortable. But yeah, so this is your office.
Are any of these blueprints matching the ones I was shown when I was briefed?
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah, any of the vehicle blueprints all the originals are in your office. So you have all of the original blueprints.
All right. I'm going to look around for places to lock them up.
Okay. Yeah, there's plenty of places to lock them up in your office. There you have you have cabinets and drawers, and there's an actual blueprint cabinet with locking drawers on it.
Okay.
So the Lieutenant Matter's like, yes, sir. I'll go back to work. If you need anything, just push that button right there. And there's on your desk there is a call button, basically.
All right.
So, and then he leaves and closes the door behind him. So you're going to get settled into your office and get things locked up and all that.
Yep. And then start working on those stack of documents I've discussed making last time.
Okay. All right, cool. So while you do that, let's go back to the bridge, shall we, everyone? It's all right. So Captain Kedrick, you've been driving the ship for a little while. And you're doing pretty good. Why don't you roll another mechanical check for me, just to see how you've been doing.
Let's see. Better than last time.
Yeah, so you've been doing pretty good. You're really kind of picking it up. You're really kind of like, oh, okay, this is not bad. This is not bad. All right. Okay, so let's do roll me a strength check. Let's see how your strength is doing.
Check. All right.
Okay, so you are getting a little tired physically. You've been fighting this wheel pretty hard. It's I mean, this ship is massive. And you're keeping it. You've been keeping it on track, and doing so has really kind of taken. It's starting to take its toll on you physically, especially since you've never done it before. Captain Archibald will see that, and he'll ask if you'd like him to take over from here.
Yeah. I think that might be best right now. Thank you.
Okay, and he'll just reach in and he'll take the wheel from you. What do you do now? Got like spaghetti arms.
Yeah, but play. I'm like just like. So
Spaghetti with a chance of Alfredo.
Lordy. So I'm gonna ask him simply. So, what got you into flying ships and being a captain here? What brought you here?
Oh, my father was in the military, and his father before him. So we're sort of a military family, and flying was always in our blood.
Interesting.
So
that's actually really cool.
Yeah. So I went to the academy and became a pilot. And he tells you he's been piloting for about 15 or so years. This is his fourth major piloting command. He was very excited to be chosen for this particular command as a pilot. He was very excited about it.
Very cool.
But yeah, that's what got him into what he did. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. That's really cool. Have you seen any really cool sights on your journeys? Like anywhere, maybe something that you haven't seen before?
He goes, well, let me think. Oh, well, actually, one of the great things, and it's not often, you don't see them often, is if we get above the cloud line, you'll see cloud angels, which is not something that most people have ever seen. Usually they only come out when larger airships sort of travel the veil between the above the clouds and below the clouds. But if you're lucky to see them, it's considered good luck. And I think I've seen them once in my 15 years.
I guess I never knew that existed.
Yeah, most people don't. They're really considered mythical. They're not. But I've seen them. I saw them about 7 years ago when I was on the Kale, and we breached the cloud line to get our bearings, and off the port side of the ship I saw something, and when I looked, there it was, sort of almost sailing alongside of us. Beautiful creature. And then it just dipped down into the clouds, and I never saw it again.
I hope we get to see something like that. That just sounds so cool.
Well, the good thing is we will be breaching cloud line in about an hour and a half. So maybe we'll see one.
All right. Well, keep me updated what I do. I want to make sure I get a good viewing spot.
Absolutely, Captain.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go explore some more of the ship. I know I got a bit of a tour before, but I think I kind of want to just walk around and just take it all in on my own for a little bit. So, do you have things good here?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic.
and he kind of leans over to you and you go, it's sort of protocol that you leave someone in charge when you leave the bridge. So usually it's your first officer.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Or whoever the senior officer is on the bridge at that time.
Yes. And that would be
Alana, Commander Elena. Yeah, she's out. She's out on the observation deck, but you could tell her that she's in command, that she's got the con.
Okay. I'll just make sure Alana, Commander Alana, is aware that I am going off the bridge for a little bit.
Very good, sir.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna go find Alana to let her know.
Okay, so you'll see her out on the front observation deck.
Okay.
With Captain or Commander Abram or Lieutenant Commander Abram.
Commander Alana.
Yes.
I'd like you to take charge of the bridge for the time being while I go on just a quick walk about the ship.
Oh, sure.
All right. Thank you.
And Alana's gonna like, thanks so much for the lesson. I gotta go. Bye. And she's gonna run straight for the bridge.
Okay. Very good.
I'm gonna turn back.
Almost like she has no idea what's going on because she has no military training.
You want to sit in the chair, don't you?
No, she wants to make sure things don't end in a fiery ball going into the ocean. I guess if that were the case, you'd have to keep a better eye on Aid.
That's fair.
Who was she with again?
Oh my god, that's funny. Okay, so Captain Kedrick, you leave the bridge. You leave Commander Alana in charge. So she takes the center chair. Sort of. So Alana, you're now in control. What's your first order? So Captain Archibald says, "Ma'am, what are your orders?"
Stay the course. We're looking to
Aye.
get to the outpost as we can.
Aye. And then he'll just get back to steering, and you'll see everybody kind of go back to their jobs. At which point, Lieutenant Commander Katerina is returning to the bridge. As the captain is leaving, you'll be coming in.
And I can't salute because I've got a big book in my hand, arms. You know?
Well, there is no official saluting. You don't really salute.
I
each
know,
other.
but she would. She's used to it, you know.
Carrick is not. Carrick is just like he'll copy other people, but when he sees people he knows, he's just like, "Oh hi." He's a big old dork right
I have
now.
a lot of reading. I'm carrying this huge book like I have a lot of reading to do.
Yeah, this thing is like complete works of William Shakespeare, unabridged.
The complete works of
Crusade
Edgar
Bible.
Allan Poe. I still have that book.
I'd argue Crusade Bible.
It's a thick book. It's like it's like 2 war and pieces put together.
That's basically about the size of a Crusade Bible.
Yeah. So it's huge. It's a huge book and a lot of reading and a lot of diagrams too. Like sort of like how things are mechanically connected, sort of almost like circuitry diagrams.
Mm.
So, all right.
Okay, I'm gonna need coffee. You know?
You could go to the galley for that, or have them bring you some coffee. You can call down to the galley and have them bring you coffee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Commander Alana, would you like some coffee?
Oh no, I really shouldn't be drinking coffee. I'm already nervous enough. Oh wow, that is a big book.
Yeah, lots of little extra reading.
Oh, did you want a notebook to write down some notes?
I have some. Would you happen to be available at? I already asked her about 1300. I thought I hadn't. I just got back, but now we're having that 1300 conversation.
1300 conversation.
Yeah. 1 p.m.
Oh, sure. If Carrick isn't back by 1 p.m., you can just have the meeting around here because I kind of still have to stick around here.
Absolutely.
Okay. So you're gonna go to the security office and read your book.
Read my book.
That's funny. All right,
Start
Carrick,
taking notes.
Yeah, Carrick, where are you headed?
Let's see. Where do I want to head?
Go to sick bay. We gotta meet the doctor.
You know what?
Go to sick bay.
I'm not gonna intentionally go to sick bay, but I'm just gonna say that through his like aimless wandering, he ends up at like sick bay.
Okay.
And I kind of just walk through the doors, look around at it, and I'm just like, all right, now I know where to go if A and Soot get hands of the controls again.
So you're in sick bay at the moment?
Yes.
Okay. So a rather tall sort of woman will approach you and say, "Oh, Captain, is there something wrong? Are you okay? And do you need something? Do I need to get the doctor?"
No. I'm fine. I am just. When I first got on the ship, they gave me a bit of a tour about everything around, and I just decided to just take a walk and see things for myself. So I ended up here. So I'm just checking in, I guess, just to see who's around and who else is in charge.
Very good. Well, I'm Lieutenant Ferris. I'm the chief medical nurse here on board. If you give me a second, and she goes to the doctor's office basically and knocks on the door and calls for the doctor. The doctor comes out and he's sort of he's a shorter man, stout, sort of salt and pepper, hair, sort of like sort of full figure, full figured man. Probably looks like he weightlifts really, but he's sort of short and stocky. And he comes out. I say short. He's not like short, but shorter than the nurse actually. But he comes out and he goes,
taller than Soot.
Yes, way taller than Soot. He goes, "Oh, Captain, sorry that we haven't had a chance to meet yet. It's we've been trying to get sick bay. We've been trying to get the medical bays in up to snuff. We sort of left without a little bit of some updates, so we're trying to get those updated now."
Wonderful.
I'm sorry. I'm Commander Wellesley, the Chief Medical Officer.
Pleasure to meet you, Captain Keddick. Yeah. Anything y'all think I should be aware of as we're going? Maybe something we might need to watch out for as we're in different areas that I haven't really been outside my own village and the city, so curious to what precautions you might have in thought.
And he goes, "Oh, absolutely." He's like, "Well, I mean, we have a database of all ailments known to the planet.
Mhm.
Who did we lose? Oh, we lost Nikki. It's okay. She'll be back." And she's like, "So, one of the things that I stress is that when away missions happen, make sure that whoever's going away is inoculated for whatever ailments are in the area in which we are in. For the most part, we have a complete list of all ailments from all areas of the world. There are some areas that we can't really prepare for, but for the most part, it's good that they get inoculated before they go on an away mission. It's very important. They must all away missions, all away members must have a medical checkup before and after away missions."
That is very good to know. Do we know if we're all up to date, or if everyone's up to date, or should we start gathering folks while we have the time now?
Oh no, we'll take care of all that, Captain. You don't have to worry about that. The Nurse Ferris and I we'll get folks in here to get their general inoculations as we go.
Wonderful. Good to know. Sorry to be asking all these questions. This is still also new to me.
No, sir. Anytime. If any questions you have, I'll be more than happy. More than happy to help.
Fantastic. Well, don't let me keep you here. I was just wandering through, looking through, trying to see what else and get to know some folks. So I don't want to be like just sitting up on the bridge away from everybody spouting out orders. So yeah. So I'm just I'll be on my way then.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Cool.
And they go back to what they're doing.
And I'm gonna just wander my way through and out the room onto to the next random place I end up.
Okay. So as you're sort of going through the ship, you'll see the crew like separates and pulls to the side to let you walk past. They acknowledge you. They're like, good morning, Captain, or good afternoon, Captain, that sort of thing. You see that the ship, as you sort of tour the ship, you can see the ship is pretty nice. It's it's made for military for sure, but it's got a lot of creature comforts as well. You eventually will come across the main galley, where everyone will eat. There's the kitchens are there. You can already smell sort of food cooking as they're getting ready for lunch today, or the meals that will kind of happen on the shift meals, because all the meals are put out in shifts. So you can sort of smell the food wafting through the ship. You'll also come to the recreational courts, where the crew can like exercise and play like sort of sports type of things, like like a sort of form of tennis or racquetball or team sports, that sort of thing. There's also fencing and things of that nature. So there's a lot to do. You can see that there's the ship is built for like long-term flight. If you go down a few decks, you'll come to the sort of the weapons deck, where you can see the percussive cannons and the harpoons. You see people just sort of bustling and doing their thing. As you continue going down, you'll eventually end up in engineering.
I do have a quick question about the ship, and this is just doesn't happen today or now, but Is there a holodeck type area?
No, there's no
Dang it!
holographic, no holodecks. But there are recreational decks. There are like places that you can go and and exercise and sort of.
Gotcha.
But there are no holodecks. No
Gotcha.
holograms.
Because I just
Yeah, unfortunately,
envisioned
we
like
can't play Halo.
I just envisioned Tedek on his off time, like if he was on a ship with a holodeck, going in there just to make a simulation of his home and just relaxing in there for a little bit. But that's fine. He'll find a hammock somewhere else or set it up himself.
If you go to your quarters are set up based on your needs and your home.
Ooh, now that's all fancy.
Yeah,
That's cool.
so
Okay, good to know.
You'll find that sort of creature comforts in your own quarters.
Good to know. That helps a lot. But yeah, okay, let's I think as he's walking through and everyone's saluting him and saying good afternoon, Captain, good evening, Captain, and all that stuff. He walks with a bit of that kind of confidence and enjoyment of it. But is also kind of I don't know if uncomfortable is the right word, but just it's a different feeling with all the formality. He's not used to it. So he half projects salutes sometimes, or he'll just wave at people. He doesn't know sort of the decorum of being in the military. Like, take Katarina and look at the complete opposite.
So Alana.
Yeah. I'm basically Alana, but I don't know.
Not nearly as much of a nerd.
No, not as much of a nerd. I'm more of an experiences type person.
Or the fishy version of Alana.
Yes, the fish version. But yeah, let's head to engineering then.
Okay. Soot and A. What in the world kind of chaos hell is going on in engineering?
Well, A was still looking at the reactor and or fiddling with it.
Oh, that is true. Let me get to that before the captain arrives. That's a whole other thing. And you're reading a report. That's right. So, all right. So A, you're looking at the reactor. And this is the reactor. There's actually more than just one. There are 6 of them.
Yeah.
Massive reactors that go about half. They span about half of the length of the ship, from the center going outward. Which they have the sort of conduits that go up and out to go throughout the ship. They are for the most part, they have this really sort of calming hum to them. And they almost, all 6 of them sort of running together, create almost this harmony. And it's almost like the ship is humming like a tune. And you'll know when a reactor is not on correctly, because then the harmony gets off a bit.
Yeah.
So what exactly are you wanting to find? What do you want to learn about these guys?
Yeah, so to kind of remember from when we were given the documents before, the ship runs on essentially the same generator that blew up part of Storm Pond that A was trying to recreate, right?
Yes.
Okay. So he literally just wants to look. So what I want A to do is he just wants to say, like, because paper is one thing, but looking at it in person is another. He just wants to be able to examine every part to see, like, okay, where was I about to go wrong?
Fair enough. So, okay.
That's what they fiddling with it in the first place.
Hands off. So as you're sort of inspecting, I mean, this reactor is like
Yeah.
10 times the size of the reactor that you were using.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So this is a larger version of it. Now, the cool thing about it is almost exactly the same look. It's almost identical, just larger.
Yeah.
And so as you're looking at it, and you can see that each of them is sort of they're almost roundish. They're not quite round. They're more like, I'd say more like octagonal.
Okay.
On each side of the reactor, there is a port window that you can actually look inside and see the reaction happening to make sure it's stable. And below each of those portholes is sort of a control panel
Okay.
to make sure that, things are working properly, et cetera, readouts, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And as you're sort of looking at it, I mean, you look at it and go, this is exactly what I built. This is exactly it. Why is this one stable and mine wasn't?
Yeah, well, remember, I didn't turn mine on yet. I got stopped before that happened.
That is true. But why couldn't you make the matrix stable? That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because it was like, you were putting in an unstable element, just like they would have, an unstable element inside of this.
Yeah.
But as you're looking at it, the casing looks different. It looks like they went with a different metal. Like this is a much stronger metal. Also, you can see that where if you look inside, you see the reaction happening. They have these sort of like control rods all the way around it that are sort of like, you can see little sparks coming off of them. And that seems to be containing the reaction.
Okay.
And so it seems that that's a big difference, is probably that. But it's like, oh my God, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
That's brilliant. But it's, again, you can also see that it's extremely delicate. It's in a very harmonic way. It is set up specifically. And if those rods ever got off, that reaction could go critical. If it's not corrected quickly.
If there's like a support beam next to this particular one I'm looking at, you're just going to see A just bang his head against the kind of Tulio and Road Eldorado.
Okay, fair enough.
And after that, he's probably going to head back over to where Soda is and just go like, interesting read.
Oh, yeah, the reports.
So Soot is just kind of like looking over this paperwork and like trying to understand it, like he's reading the directions for IKEA furniture.
I mean, is that a bad description, Will?
No, it's not. It's really not. Not at all.
And he's just like looking at the diagrams and like reading the reports and stuff like that, and basically just trying to understand like how this thing works on like a extremely fundamental level, so that way he knows like what to look for and what to listen for and what to watch for, kind of thing, so that way if anything does start to go wrong.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, as he's sort of looking through these, I mean, he's comprehending, because where he comes from, he's familiar with like mechanisms and how mechanical things work. So for the most part, what he's reading makes sense to it. Now there might be a few things in there that he's sort of like, I don't really know what that is, but it obviously works.
Those are the Swedish bits.
Yeah, maybe that's exactly. What's a Svengensaken? It's like, let me write that down. Let me go check that out later, because I don't know what that is. But yeah, I mean, I can imagine he's probably taking notes on the parts that he doesn't understand. I'm assuming that, or making mental notes or something, but to sort of get clarification maybe, or learn more about it. For the most part, even from the basic reports that you're reading, you can infer that this is a complex piece of machinery. Like the whole thing just based on the engineering reports, you know that because they're showing you power distribution, and you can see where power is going. You can see power goes to the weapons deck. Power goes to the bridge. You can see where it goes down to the transport bays. I mean, you can almost visualize the power flow in this massive ship, just based on the reports you're reading and how very delicate and well balanced it is. It also. Oh, go ahead.
It's like the random equation montage, like while it's just like reading everything.
Exactly. It's like this is the whole thing. Yeah. I mean, it's literally just. Have you ever seen The Good Doctor? Whenever he does his thing,
yeah,
and it just goes through that. That's I can almost, almost like the ship, and it's
or
apart,
Benedict Cumberbatch Sherlock.
Yeah, Sherlock. Benedict Cumberbatch is Sherlock. I can see him visualizing well. I mean, it would make sense because he's a mechanic. He understands how things work.
Professor in numbers.
He's just not. He's just used to seeing more rust. That's the difference.
Right. Exactly. And he's probably, honestly and truly, he's probably seen 90% of these components from back home. Honestly, he's just probably never seen them in this particular order in which they're.
He's just used to seeing the scraps.
Yeah, but you're like, oh, I know what that is.
That's a doohickey, and that's a thingamabob.
Exactly. I mean, I've seen them a little rustier, but yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I think he's pretty good at sort of. I think he's pretty good at figuring out from the reports like how this ship works.
Then yeah, so basically he would just start having that conversation with A about like this is, like pointing things out and like this is what this does and what this does, and then basically kind of reiterating like don't blow us up.
Right. Sticky notes everywhere. Don't blow us up.
Putting sticky notes, don't touch. Don't touch.
Exactly.
Well, I'm gonna be like, weren't you the one that was ready to blow something up during our tests?
That was never confirmed.
Yeah, so you might want to make those notes for yourself there, buddy.
That was never confirmed. I love it. All right. Okay, so engineering is it's working pretty smoothly then. So we're they're keeping the engines or the reactors at nominal efficiency. The crew is working off. At which point the captain walks in.
So
is that how you start the conversation? Just with a sigh?
No, he walks in there and sees all the sticky notes all over the place that says do not touch, do not touch. And then he sighs. It's like, do you really need to remind yourself of that this much?
Soot is going to do an over-exaggerated like salute. Safety first, sir.
Safety first.
That is I ain't gonna lie, surprising coming from you.
Yeah, A's still oblivious to you walking in here. I'm probably still fiddling with whatever I have my hands on at this point. Like how like in Serenity, Kaylee, she's almost always underneath the engine, like never knows someone's in there.
Yep. Oh, yep.
That's A right now.
Yeah. So, I look at Soot and I'm looking around. I probably don't see. I see A right away, and it goes. Well, at least one of y'all is here. Where did they go off to?
He's dead. He did make it.
He just slowly turns his head at you. because he has that look of like he knows you're not serious, but you better not be serious.
You're never 100% sure.
Never
Exactly.
100%.
That's like,
Bombastic side eye. Criminal offensive side eye.
Goose, you almost killed me.
It's that look. It's that look of like we just fucking took off.
how did you kill him so fast?
Oh, it's been 20 minutes already?
I was like, did he annoy you that much?
Our first
that really-
casualty.
is that
and we
really a
haven't even,
question?
like, fought anybody.
I was gonna say, hey, Will.
Yeah.
Well, can I roll to see if I heard that comment about me being dead?
Yes, please.
Sure. Yeah. Go
What-
ahead.
What do I roll?
Intelligence.
Well, here's a better question: How sneaky was Goose in Soot that in saying that? Like,
I don't
was
know.
he-
Were you being?
I'm
trying to be-
curious.
Not
he's
even
just
a little bit.
I was gonna say. I
That's a
can't
4.
imagine. Oh yeah, you
almost
heard
like,
it.
making
So-
sure that you say it loud enough so that he does hear
You
it.
totally heard it.
So when Soot says that line in the background, you just hear A go, "Stop telling people I'm dead."
From Brother Bear. If no one knows where that's from.
I
That's
know where
funny.
it's from. That's one of my
Yeah.
favorite movies.
Just saying, some people that may not know where it's from.
I mean, come
One of
on.
my
It's one of
favorite
the other
movies.
movies where Phil Collins rocks the soundtrack.
I agree.
Oh, fuck, that was Phil Collins. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies, actually.
So good.
Without
So
missing
good.
a beat, Soot's just gonna look at Caddick. Oh, look, he made it.
Oh, my bad.
He gives you kind of gives like a little bit of a sigh, of relief, and he goes, "You're lucky that I spent the past semester with y'all, but please be careful about saying that kind of stuff around the other folks. At least I know y'all well enough." So how's everything going down here?
I'm learning a lot.
That's good. That's always a good thing.
And so far, A hasn't blown us up yet. So I consider this a win.
As you
Also,
I was gonna say, as you say that, you just hear a toolbox crash as I probably knock something over.
Nice.
I said it was a toolbox. It was just a toolbox.
The whole engineering crew like turns and looks like, oh dear God.
Soot freezes.
Keta kind of gives a little jump.
False alarm. We're fine.
Yeah. Sure.
Don't worry,
I
Captain.
love
we got this
how
under
it
control.
makes everybody so nervous.
Keep in mind, this one drove me and made me puke.
That is true.
A, I spent that whole time against the ceiling of the car, so
I know,
true.
I know. So you know well. I don't have any opinions about you. It's A. I haven't gotten to experience you drive yet.
I'm an excellent driver.
But everyone has gotten the experience of you driving, though. 'Cause you did
Yeah,
just
everyone got to
driving.
experience me driving.
Hey, you didn't kill us either. That's 2 wins.
I didn't make anyone puke either.
Nope.
So not realizing that Soot is talking to Carrick, because while A's probably still like, picking the tools up, probably one hit his head, he goes like, "Oh, so you're the one driving like a grandma."
What?
About how slow it was, because
All
again,
right. Look,
A's just in a chaotic mood tonight.
I don't know whose grandmas y'all been driving with, but mine were speed demons.
Well,
Like,
the ship's moving pretty fast.
Yeah.
Following my grandfather one day driving, and he was blasting past 80.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well,
This-
in your defense, you're also in the north.
You know what? You're not
So am
wrong,
I.
but still.
Because I'm from West Virginia, and anyone north of me is definitely a crazy driver.
You're not super wrong, and I only know he was blasting past 80 because I was going 80 and he was driving faster than me.
Oh lordy.
Oh, but I think
God,
I think it was after that comment that A finally looks up and realized it was character. It's like, oh, hey, and just gets back to picking the tools up.
Like,
Cool. I need everybody, real quick. I need everybody to do a survival roll for me, please.
oh god. Hey, what did you do?
As when he dropped the
Oh,
thing.
good.
No, I'm just kidding.
Nice surge, Soot.
Of course, I get a 2 on a rank 3.
Nice, another surge.
I mean, me and Katarina and Gath, we don't have to, right?
No, everybody does.
Shit.
It's a good thing I just got that.
Ain't getting out of this one.
And yes, I fully intended for everybody to hear that because I know something dumb's happening. I didn't mean to say dumb, though. I meant to say bad.
Hey, you still did good. You got a surge. I'm assuming surge.
Aw.
Okay. So
No, I'm survival level 2, so.
Yeah, just need gaff.
What is it?
did everybody roll? Sorry.
Yes.
My sound crazy being weird.
I rolled a
Okay.
7.
Okay, cool.
What is it?
So as everyone's sort of moving
What is
about
it,
their business,
GG?
the entire ship
Mhm.
shakes violently. Almost feels like you got hit by something.
Hey,
Except there was no loud noise. It just the whole ship just shuddered.
Do I have a communicator?
I
or
will come
anything?
out. I will go out onto the bridge.
Well, they can communicate through the ship system. You could do it from the engineering. You can call to the bridge. Okay.
Over the ship system, it's from my office. I'm like, you hear, who's let Aiden drive?
Yeah, Kedek is gonna go for the radio and radio up to bridge. Like, hey, so what was that?
So when the ship shudders, Elena, we'll take it from your perspective on the bridge. You will see Captain Archibald. He is struggling to keep the ship on course. So, and you see everyone's just sort of like shifting because it was a pretty big hit, whatever it was. And so, what do you do? And you hear the whistles coming from people calling up, but you're in command. So, what are you doing?
First off, I'm going to ask the captain, what was that?
Archibald,
Captain, do you know what that was?
he's going to be like, I have no idea. I mean, and he like locks off the steering, and he tells his subordinate come and take the wheel. So he takes the wheel and he's like, let me go check, because they go to the radar sonar area and he says there's nothing on sonar, commander. I have no idea. There's nothing out there.
Could it have just been like turbulence? I think that's the word
Possible.
for it, right?
Yes, it's possible we could have run into something, but usually turbulence is, not quite such a burst. That felt like a burst of something. And you hear him start calling the folks. He's like, is anyone seeing anything? Anyone seeing observation towers? Anyone seeing anything? And they're reporting back nothing. There's nothing out there. Okay. And then you hear the calls coming from engineering. You hear the captain's call. And he says, "What's going on?"
I've walked
Yep.
back to my station on the bridge.
Okay, Katarina's back on the bridge. Engineering, the whole engineering section just shifted, or at least it feels like it did. It didn't actually shift, but everybody. You're like, you immediately see your crew going to check the reactors to make sure everything's where it needs to be. Transport, all the transports are good. They were locked in place at the time, so nothing got, except for the ones in the repair bay, they got shifted about a bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say A would have made a run to the reactor too, considering he knows that tech.
That's fair. Okay, Elena. Katarina.
I'm gonna call down to munitions and see if there's any damage down there, just to irritate him.
There's nice.
Oh, great. We have a rivalry on crew.
So you call down to munitions to see if there's any damage down in munitions. Okay.
Yes.
So he replies back. He's like, "Why would there be damage in munitions? We're in the center of the ship. Unless we get hit by a projectile missile, I really don't think we're going to have any damage. So if there's nothing else, click."
Why do I get the feeling you're going to be causing problems for him?
It was a fair question. I stand behind it.
It was a fair question. Captain Archibald, he'll make a ship announcement. He'll call the captain to the bridge. He'll also call all hands to stations. And he'll report back to you, Commander. He'll say, "Commander, we don't see anything out there." Suddenly the ship jars again. A little more violently this time, where people are knocked to the ground.
All right.
Can
At
we
this
tell?
point, I radio up to the bridge.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Captain, my captain, what was that?
Well, Elena, you're on the bridge. Captain's not there yet, so you can
Elena
respond.
is going to get on the comm for him. When I figure it out, you'll be the first one I let know, Gath. Click.
And then Soot, what were you saying?
Can we tell like from where the actual hit came from?
Oh, you know where it came from. It came from port side because the ship listed to the starboard.
Okay.
So you can definitely exactly whatever it is, it's hitting you from the port side.
So Elena is going to go up to the observation deck.
Okay.
And check like port and starboard side, see if it's either like trying to rear back and hit again, or if it's just screwing off.
All right. You can go up there. And,
I will ask. Hang on. The communications officer to let us know if there's any damage reports.
Okay. And
If
as
she gets any
Alana's
damage reports
leaving,
coming in.
Yeah,
as
you do.
Alana's leaving, she's going to yell out to Katarina, "Could you just check on engineering, make sure everything's okay there? Not because I'm worried that A did something, but I just want to make sure everything's okay."
But I'm kind of worried that A did something.
I mean, I'm
So
not.
I will
not
call
concerned.
down.
So, okay.
I will call down engineering status report.
Okay, so unfortunately, you don't get an answer from them because in engineering, there are alarms blaring. That last hit took reactor 4 offline.
And that's the one I would have made a beeline for.
Yep.
Same.
So those on the bridge, you'll see that power starts to reduce. The steering handling becomes harder. Whatever it is, it's doing a lot of damage on internal systems. So alarms are blaring. Reactor 4 is offline. but the reaction is still building.
Oh,
Engineering, please report.
All this
Um,
time, Kedek is just bolting it back to the bridge. Like he's doing his whole parkour, trying to find the quickest route. He's like jumping through people, just trying to get back to the bridge as fast as he can to see to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, as you're going to the bridge, others are going to their stations. You see the crew is reacting very well. They're getting where they need to get. There are injured. They're taking the injured to medical bays, to the medical bay. Back on the bridge. Elena, you're up on the observation tower or observation area, and you don't see anything physically out there. There's nothing out there. You just you have no idea what is attacking the ship or what's hitting the ship, and not necessarily being attacked, but something's hitting the ship, and you just don't know what it is. As reactor 4 is still building its reaction, you guys have to neutralize that reactor before it blows. So you're basically, it's like a core breach is about to happen.
Yeah, I will say, depending on which one of us gets there first, first thing I'm doing is just seeing exactly, because I did take a look at them earlier, seeing like what's out of place exactly. Like, is it the rods? Is it the actual, is the walls breached?
Okay. You can see that at least one of the rods is out of alignment.
All right. And do I see any way I'm able to maneuver that rod? Like, is there a lever, a switch, or do I actually have to crawl in there?
You have to go inside.
Kill. Dang, we're going straight.
I mean, you could probably send Sut.
Oh no, A would not send so because A knows his tech.
That's okay, because Soot's about to have his own crisis.
Yeah. Yeah, so before I was gonna say if Soot's cool with that, I just got there before Soot, just goes longer legs.
That's fine.
So
there is a access port.
Yeah.
And it's like a sort of like a decom room, or there are suits that you would put on, a suit you would put on before you go inside, because it's a reactor.
Yeah.
And once you put your suit on, you close the door, decomp, and then you open the reactor door to go inside. And the minute you open the reactor door, the heat, it's a wall, just hits you.
Yeah.
I mean, even though the suit's protecting you, the heat is so intense. And this is the first time, I'm pretty sure, that A has ever been this close to an actual reaction.
100%. Because again, he didn't even get to turn his on. They were about to he was about to flip the switch when the Faustian / Stormhawk version of SWAT busted down his wall.
Right. So, and just so people are aware of this, the scale of these reactors are huge. These are huge, massive things. So when he walks in, he's on a basically like a scaffolding around the outer edge. The reaction is happening in the middle of that, and it's like huge. And the rods are just massive.
Question 2 to kind of get an idea of the more of a scale. How big is this compared to the one that destroyed part of Stormhawk?
How what now?
How big is this compared to the one that destroyed part of Stormhawk?
This thing is like 10 times the size.
Got it.
Yeah, this would.
Have you tried turning it off and turning it back on again?
If only it were that easy.
So once in the reactor, though, I want to go to whichever rod, because was it a rod on the bottom, top?
It was the top, and each of the rods has a control booth attached to it. It just seems that the one rod has shifted its position a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean that's the first one I want to go to.
Okay, yeah. So as you climb up the ladder to
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm going to send a security team down to engineering because they're not responding to report what the heck is happening.
Fair enough. Okay, that's absolutely cool. So as you climb the ladder to get into the control booth, you'll see that there's a control panel there. There's a glass window, so you can actually see the rod moving as you move it. There are two controls, that attitude controls, up and down, left and right.
Yeah, kind of like a crane operator's booth.
Yeah, it basically is what it is. And then there's a lock-in button. So once you get it where it needs to be, you can lock it in place.
Okay. Yeah, so I want to go ahead and see which way I need to move it first. Like if I need to move it up, down, left, right, diagonal, etc.
Okay.
Right.
You see that it has shifted sort of down and to the left a bit.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and move. I want to move it to the right first.
Okay. Roll your mechanical check and let's see if you can make it happen.
No.
So it's not that you failed doing it. It's just the controls are frozen.
Yeah.
So it looks like the controls were damaged in whatever happened.
Okay. All the controls or just the lateral controls?
Well, it looks like the lateral ones are not working.
Okay.
So at least like it at this point, something's not connected.
Yeah.
It looks like there might be some sort of disconnect somewhere.
Okay.
Just turn into a claw machine mini game.
Yep. Let me just to see how bad of a disconnect there is. Let me try and go ahead and moving it up where it needs to be as well, like just doing the vertical movement.
All right, roll your mechanical.
Mother.
So apparently, it's not. Something's not working in the mechanism itself. Oh, okay.
And
While
I
you're
think
in
the
there,
answer is the dice.
so while you're in there, Soot, as you're helping on the ground with everything, you'll hear the alarms blare again. This time, this is a much worse alarm because reactor 6 is about to blow.
I guess I'm just booking it over there.
Okay, cool. When you see the reactor, the actual reaction, the physical reaction happening has shifted and has stopped spinning. So it's literally just building. So that means the electromagnetic field has gone offline. Hit it with a hammer, it works every time.
So is it kind of the same thing where like it's inside? So I have to go
Yeah,
inside
you'll
this
have
one?
to go inside to fix it.
All right, then yeah, I'm putting on the suit and going in.
Okay. So when you go in, this you don't have to deal with the rods. All the rods are in place. It's just the electromagnetic field has canceled out or has stopped. And that control is on the far side of where you're at. So you'll have to go all the way around to those controls. It was all A's fault for dropping the toolbox.
Just takes one wrench. That's it.
That's one wrench is all it takes to gum up the works, man. All right, so if you get over there, you'll see that the panel, the power to the panel is out. Like it has no powers to it. It's getting to it at all.
I'm gonna crawl around it,
Okay.
see if there's like a wire disconnection or something.
Okay. Do a mechanical check for me. Okay. You can see, even with a 2, you can see that all the wires are going into the panel. So they all look intact. So you're probably for sure that there's a disconnect inside the mechanism itself.
So is it like one of those things I gotta like take the panel off kind of thing and like
Yeah.
open it up?
Yep,
Then
you'll have to take it off and you can take it off from the front. You don't take it off from the back.
Okay, cool.
As
I don't have to like
you're hanging there.
dangle. It just got real Mission Impossible real quick.
Exactly. So while you're doing that, back on the bridge, one of the things that you notice, Alana, is that the cloak goes down. You see the chromatophoric panels shift, and then the ship comes visible again.
Okay. She is going to communicate this.
Okay. Captain Archibald gets the communique, and he calls down to engineering again, telling them that the cloak has failed. He's just calling it down. He's not asking anyone to call back. They know, the crew knows what to do. They get it, and they start working on the cloak. But while reactors 4 and 6 are down, the cloak will not work. But they're going to try their hardest to get it working. At which point, Commander Elena, you are in the observation. You see just up in the clouds, you see this large, like, wavy, almost like, looks like sound waves traveling at you. It's coming right for the ship.
Brace for impact.
So you'll hear the call to the ship for everyone, all crew, brace for impact, brace for impact. At which point, the whatever it is impacts Captain Archibald is like, he's trying to navigate away from it or out of it. And let me pull up
Can we hear these call outs from inside?
Oh yeah,
the
y'all
reactor?
can hear the call. Yeah, y'all can hear the call outs, even in the reactors.
Oh, okay. Oh, the alarm got turned off.
Yeah, you can. Oh yeah, the alarm is still going, but there is a direct call line into each reactor chamber.
Oh, okay.
Let me roll my.
And Elena is going to call out to Captain Archibald. There's something that looks like almost like sound waves coming towards the ship. Have you ever heard of anything like that?
And as he's like, just a minute, Commander, as he's turning the ship, he's able to pull the ship out of the way of this wave so it does not hit the ship. And he'll report back to you. He's like, no, ma'am, I have no idea what this is. I've never encountered this before.
Do you think there's something that's migrating down this way? And it just doesn't see us through the cloaking?
Well, I mean, now they can see us now. Cloak's down, and there's still something happening. So I don't know. There's nothing on sonar. There's nothing on radar. We have no eyes on anything. I have no idea what this is. And he starts to ask. He's like, we need ideas, everybody. The security team reports back the dire straits in the engineering section. That 2 of the reactors one reactor is down, one's in critical. Both they're trying to repair both of them as we speak. Captain Archibald, he'll call up to Commander Elena, and he'll say, our only option is to go to the clouds.
Then let's do it. Let's get out of here.
All hands prepare for ascension, and you'll hear a different set of alarms going off as everyone on the bridge gets to work, and you'll slowly, and we can do that on just basic air flight. We don't need the engines for that. So the ship slowly rises up into the cloud line and hold there. And Captain Archibald is like, we're holding stations.
I'm going to send a call out to Gath.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And ask him if he can send any mechanics to engineering to see if they can lend a hand.
Okay. Yeah, you can call down. So you call down to Gath to ask for mechanics to engineering.
Yeah. I mean, they don't know those systems, but they can follow orders. They understand the basics. So
Oh yeah.
Make
That's
sure
true.
this wire's attached to that wire.
So, Gath, Lieutenant Commander Katerina, she calls down to you asking for you if you have any mechanics that you can spare in engineering.
How's the situation looking in my area of the ship?
You're actually, your guys are pretty good. Your team has everything locked down. The only thing that happened is the sub that was in the maintenance bay shifted, but they got it secured. Minor injuries, and they all went to the med bay. Nothing major.
And I forget, what was the title of Matter again?
Oh, he's a lieutenant.
Like, what rank was he?
He's your lieutenant. He's your assistant transport chief.
I'll press the call button to him. Lieutenant Matter to my office immediately.
And he's like there, like within seconds. It's like, he's like, yes, sir.
Who do
What can I
we
do
have
for you,
that
sir?"
who do we have that can help in the engineering?
And he looks at his papers and he's like, we've got beta team that could go. They're off shift right now, so we could send any of those that are available down to assist or up to assist.
And then I'll say just a moment. I'll call back to Katerina. What's the situation in engineering?
2 reactors down. They're not responding. I'm sure they've got their hands full.
And I'll look to Lieutenant Matter. Well, I think we need to send them.
Yes, sir. I'll get right on it. And he leaves, and he'll send beta shift to engineering. He was behind him the whole time. Of course he was. He lurks in the shadows and just steps out. It's like,
You rang.
yes, may I help you, sir? All right, so back
once
to
he does
engineering.
that,
Yeah.
quick
Go
thing, well, when they are sent off, I'll tell Lieutenant Matter, you're in command down here, and I will head up to the bridge.
Yes, sir. And he takes charge. He goes and he gets the cruise going. So you head up to the bridge. All right.
Yep.
Engineering. What's going on there? Hey.
Yeah, so seeing the controls are all locked up, do I know where the mechanisms that these levers control are, like in relationship with in the rod?
Oh yeah,
Are
you
they-
knew that you could open the panel below.
All right, but yeah. So I'm gonna see what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna make sure, like, okay, did a gear get knocked loose? Do I need to hotwire something?
You can, as you look underneath, you can see the panel is fused. The whole panel
great.
had to be replaced. So you know that. Well, the only way you're going to fix this is to do it manually.
Yeah, but I'll say I might as well. I'm just gonna head up there and just start kicking or pushing whatever I need to do to get it in place.
Well, there are manual release. They're on the outside of the booth. There are manual release switches.
Yeah.
That if you flip both of those, you can actually almost move it by hand.
Okay. Then yeah, we'll go ahead and do that.
Okay. So you crawl out onto the small maintenance deck. Roll mechanical, and let's actually roll strength. You don't have to roll mechanical. Roll strength.
Oh fuck! That's a 2.
Okay, 2's not bad. You're able to get. You're going to roll 2 of them. The first one's for the first lever. The second one's for the second lever. With a little bit of resistance. Well, not a little bit. A lot of resistance. You eventually do get the first lever thrown, and you hear the locks unhinge. So roll your second one.
5.
Yeah. The other one is like no biggie at all. You get it and it pulls right off, and you can see the rod literally just sort of swings freely now, almost. So you can literally get on it and like kick it into place if you needed.
Oh
to.
yeah. No, I'm 100% kicking and pushing this, just being like, get it, you goddamn mother.
All right, cool. Roll survival. Let's see if you make it happen.
What's my survival? Okay. Nope.
Oh, it's giving you some resistance. It is giving you some major resistance.
Can I actually give him my surge?
Sure, if you want to. I'll let you
I'll
give
do
it to
that.
another player. Okay.
Okay, well, it's a D. It was a D4, so it'll be a 5 then at that point.
Boom. So you're able to push it into position. Now you need to lock the levers down, which doesn't require strength because they'll automatically lock in place.
Yeah.
So once you get it into position, you'll hear the levers just go clack into place, locks in, and you'll see the reaction stabilizes. But it's really hot where you are right now.
Oh yeah, I'm going to definitely like head out there and head to the chamber to go ahead and get the decontamination done.
Okay. Yeah. So as you stabilize that reaction, you'll hear reactor 4 start to hum again, and it sort of harmonizes with the others that are still in line. You'll hear you'll hear them call to the bridge that reactor 4 has been stabilized. Reactor 6 we're still working on. The mechanics from beta shift come into engineering A as you're coming out of reactor 4. They're there to say, is there anything we can do to help? Just tell us what you need us to do. And I'll let you figure that out. And Soot, we're back to you. So you've taken the panel off. And it's a mess in there. Looks like a power surge happened. And kind of almost didn't really fry everything, but it kind of just, yeah, you're going to have to do some creative engineering to get it working again. So what is, and Soot's good at this, so.
We're about to get real redneck.
I love it. Tell me what you do.
We're just going to start hoping and guessing. Like, we've seen this before, but we haven't actually put it into practice at this scale.
Right.
So we're just cutting and splicing.
Right. Okay. And you just like put this one here, put that one there, and run that one over here. Okay. Let's see. Now I'm going to have you roll the mechanical on this one to see if you got this one right. Now you do have a surge, by the way. So if you don't roll well, just FYI. A 2. Do you want to use your surge on that? Oh, okay.
Hold on, I rolled the wrong dice.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, sorry. I don't remember what I roll for this. It's a D8.
Okay. 4 is good. So as you jerry-rig this electrical system in here with literally like spit and gum probably, you get it all connected.
Taking parts from my toaster.
Yeah, exactly.
Wiring them in.
This will work. Let me put this in here, connect this to here. And oh yeah, it's completely jerry-rigged. So you flip the switch and you see it spark underneath there a little bit, but the control panel lights up.
From the time he hit the switch until the light lights up, he was puckered the entire time.
I love it. All right, so the panel has lit up.
I certainly hope he was wearing the brown pants.
Yeah, I know, right? The EM field is still down, but you've got power now.
So, is there like a separate switch that you got to like flip or whatever? Like,
there's like a lot of switches. There's like dials and knobs, and I mean, it kind of reminds you. Honestly, it kind of reminds you of the puzzle room. Yeah, with the pressure dials and all that.
So he's gonna think back to the puzzle, and he's gonna kind of look at everything. We're going through the equation montage again, and he's gonna go for it.
Okie doke. Cool. Roll survival. Boom. So you do the thing. You're like fingers crossed, booty hole puckered, and the minute you flip the last switch, you'll hear this whoosh as this EM field just pops that reaction back into place, and then it begins to react. And then you'll hear the engine start to hum, and it matches the others. And then the alarms go off. They stop. All the engines are back online. Engine 4 and engine 6 have to be maintained. They have to be maintenanced, so they're not fully operational yet, as in back into the system, but they're stable. So engineering you guys got the engine stabilized. You still hear the calls coming down from the bridge. So who answers the call? I guess A, you'll have to, because it's coming out of decom.
Yeah, so once the alarms turn off, I'll grab the nearest intercom piece, because I'm pretty sure there's a few of them throughout engineering, just to how big it is.
Mm-hmm.
I go on, by some miracle, we got it fixed.
Okay, so I'm assuming, Kadrick, you're probably already back on the bridge at this point.
Oh, yes,
So
yes.
you guys will hear a call up saying that the engines are stabilized, basically. Yeah, well, they're not blowing up, so we're good.
Good.
But when you come to the bridge, you will see that you are in complete cloud coverage. The cloaking device is still offline at the moment because it can't come back on until 4 and 6. The reactors 4 and 6 are back online.
All right. I tell whoever's keeping an eye on those reactors to let me know when they are fully operational so we can go back into cloaking. And I'm going to go to Captain Archibald and ask what's, or actually, no, I'll actually look to Alana and ask what the status is.
Okay.
Well, there was something attacking the ship. I could not see really what it was. It looked like waves attacking.
Waves.
But yeah, I don't understand. It might have been something else that was cloaking, but that's just my guess. There was nothing showing up on radar. Nothing.
Huh.
So we decided. So Captain Archibald gave the suggestion to ascend into the clouds, and we did.
Good call. Hopefully the clouds can give us some color for a bit of time until we can get cloaking back on.
Yes, sir, it will. But we'll have no eyes while we're up here. We'll have no idea what is in front of us, behind us, above us, below us, because the clouds, they have an electrostatic sort of charge in them, so they sort of block our sonar radars. So we have no idea what's up here with us.
Is
Understood.
there any way we can get above the clouds so we at least know what's below us?
Well, we could.
We can, but that might expose us.
Yeah, without reactors 4 and 6, though, we'll be sitting ducks. So if anything sees us, he'll suggest that we stay here and keep visual, like physical visuals. People on observation, just shifts and observation while we get the engines repaired.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Let's take it slow. Let's keep eyes peeled. get as many people as we can get on shifts onto observation that can get us full coverage, and radio down the moment anyone sees anything.
So
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, down in engineering,
Mm-hmm.
once I get out of like decompression, I'm going to like delegate 3 engineers onto each of the reactors. So
Okay.
3 each. So that way they can start working on that. And I'm going to get with A and the remainder of the engineers and start figuring out if there's any way that we can divert power to restore cloaking.
Cool. You also have beta shift mechanics there as well. There's 6 of them, so you can use them however you need to as well.
I'm grabbing anybody that can help.
Okay. Yeah.
And then also, I'm also going to radio going like since we couldn't hear anything from the alarms, asking were any compartments breached
Who are you calling to?
up to the bridge.
Oh, okay.
See if any compartments got their holes breached.
Right. So that would be Lieutenant Commander Katerina's station. You'd be getting reports in from the ship of minor injuries, nothing major like injury wise. There were no hull breaches at this point.
Okay.
It was a lot of internal damage, but nothing.
Yeah.
No holes breached.
Yeah, because no point getting camouflage up if there's a giant hole in the side.
Correct. So at this point, the bridge is a little in disarray at the moment. It's like panels blue.
We were kind of hit with a dim mock.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. So, bridge crew, what are the orders? Ship-wide orders.
Oh, we got raided.
Yay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sparkles Mindy. Thanks for the raid.
Thanks for the raid.
Welcome.
I'm gonna say, well, first off, all hands to stations. Keep an eye on your posts until we can get cloaking back up. I'm going to tell folks to just make sure that they are in to basically latch down anything that we can in case if something else hits, to make sure there's no more craziness, disarray. So if anyone has any loose crates or anything, get them secured. And for those on observation, all eyes out, radio down immediately when you see something.
Okay.
And probably anyone not actively working on a station or working towards the maintenance of the engineering, report to observation to assist.
Good call. Yes.
I come up with them every once in a while.
Thank you.
Kat and Archibald will suggest.
I'm going to ask the communications officer to check with sickbay on injuries, how many injuries we have, and if they need help.
Okay. Okay. Captain Archibald will suggest that we begin operating on minimal power. Probably just enough to keep us where we are so that they can work on the reactors.
Sounds perfect.
That sort of thing, just so that we have enough for weapons and maintaining altitude and positioning.
That works perfectly. Make sure they can get all the power they can to get those reactors back up.
Yes, sir. And he goes and begins to coordinate. You'll get a report real quick. You'll get a report from the med bay. There are 12 injuries currently that have reported to the med bay. All minor scratches, scrapes and bruises. Nothing major.
All right,
They'll
I'm going to
all
talk
get it.
to Lieutenant Commander Nemitz again and tell him that we have an unknown threat, so please make sure that weapons are ready in case we need them, as I'm sure he already has.
Yes. He'll send back, just so you know, weapons are always at the ready. So just tell me who to fire at, and we'll do it.
He's such a jerk.
No,
I'm
I'm
going to
still.
have problems with this guy.
But he's really good at what he does.
I say my.
I'm really starting to not like this
Mhm.
guy.
I would say my headcanon is that this guy's like a year or two from pension and is just tired of all the green horns that get put in it above him.
Exactly. He's like, I'm about to retire. I'm just like,
He's basically Ron Swanson walking through a Home Depot. Bringing more than you.
yes, that's brilliant.
But
that's who he is
yeah.
now.
I was gonna say, what are the main areas of ship? Because you got engineering, med bay, mess, barracks, transport,
armory,
munitions,
transport.
armory.
Yeah. Then there's like the crew quarters. There's the quarters, or the deck with the crew quarters. Then there's the officers' deck, the recreational deck. I mean,
Yeah, because what I'm going to recommend to Soot is cut power to recreation. At least cut lights from barracks. People can just use flashlights as needed.
okay.
Or the light
Transfer-
spell if I got it.
So we'll just
Transfer-
redirect from all non-essential.
Yeah, but I would say probably just the lights from transportation in case we need to somehow use or like drop some of the vehicles to use.
Right. Yeah. You
Definitely keep power to med bay.
Yeah.
Definitely keep power to med bay.
Yeah.
They'll be
Med-
fine.
Yeah.
Probably cut power to mess hall minus the refrigerator / cooler area.
So basically, you're cutting power from all non-essential areas.
Yeah.
Okay. And as if you were looking on the outside of the ship, you'll see all the lights begin to dim as the ship goes into dark mode. And that way the engineers can work on the reactors that need to be worked on. Weapons are at ready, as they always are. We're just waiting for a command and a target. And on the bridge. So as you guys are observing through the clouds, and it's thick. These clouds are super thick, and you can see the sort of static charge sort of hitting the ship. And
I eventually get up there.
oh yeah, you get to the bridge. Yeah, you're already at the bridge. I'm sorry. Is there anything you want to report when you get there?
I'm going up to see what's going on.
Okay. Yeah, when you get there, you'll see that you're in cloud cover basically. You can see non-essential systems are starting to go dark. The lighting on the bridge goes dim, not out, but dim. Not the whiskey locker. Yes, unfortunately, the whiskey locker. Yeah, so
The
you can
whiskey
see
can get moved to refrigeration.
Yeah, so you can see basically everything's running on minimal power at this point. Is there anything you want to report or ask or that sort of thing?
What's the situation?
Okay. Captain?
It looks like we got some kind of like wave, sonic or otherwise force wave that has been hitting the ship. Source is currently unknown, but we are. It was suggested for us to head up to the clouds and basically hide here until we can get our cloaking systems back up. Once they're back up, we can cloak and get out of here as soon as possible. That's the situation.
Okay.
Well, I have, at the request of Katarina, sent the beta ship to help in engineering to help give them some extra hands.
Fantastic.
And I came up to see if I could be anything to use up here. And
Right
try to
now,
get a general idea of what's going on.
right now
At
we're
first,
just
I thought Aid was driving for some reason.
no, we're good. Right now we are flying by just eyesight at this point, and so if you can and your station is all good for the time being, we could use some organization up at observation. We've sent basically anyone who isn't actively working on something up there just to keep eyes on the sky in case they see anything. We are flying pretty blind right now, so
Okay.
if you want to go up there and help out there, organize stuff up there, that would actually help out a lot.
All right. Unfortunately, the shift that's on duty in the transportation department is currently cleaning up from the impact because a submarine or two got dislodged that was being repaired.
That's fine. Once they become available, send them up.
So up he goes. All right. So as he's going up, you'll get a call from observation. It's let's see, who is it? Let's say it's Lieutenant Commander Zarish, your science officer. You hear a call going, Captain, we're not alone up here. And that's where we're going to end tonight.
No! Ah! Get me visual! No!
Got a feeling.
I've been wanting to say that. Dang it! Ah!
Don't worry, there'll be another time when something's trying to kill us up here
Exactly.
in the sky.
Exactly.
Yeah, next time.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, hey, at least thanks to A and Soot, there is a next time.
That is true. Well
Yes.
done, you guys in engineering. Well done.
Yeah.
Because if those things actually blew probably the entire northern, well, wait, I can't remember. We're still in the southern hemisphere of the
You're
world,
heading to
right?
The southern, the southern hemisphere.
Oh, then the whole world probably been jacked up because the northern hemisphere was already fucked.
Yeah, it would have been tore up. Yeah,
It would have been a new ice age.
it would have been bad.
Fuck them. I'm not ready to die.
Exactly. I hear you. No, that was
I
great.
feel like none of us are, but you know,
Yeah,
yeah, let's put all the focus on you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think we did pretty damn good.
Oh, yeah.
I think you guys did too. That was great. So awesome. All right. Well, that's where we're going to end this session tonight. So you'll have to come back in 2 weeks to see who or what is up in the clouds. So we're going to go around real quick, let everybody again tell them who they are, who they played, where you can find them, and what is each character thinking having gone through their first crisis. And we'll go in reverse order, and we'll start with Goose. But before we do that, make sure all those, thanks for you, Sparkles Mandy, for the raid. You guys are amazing. Thanks for hanging out with us. And we're going to raid another creator after the stream. So please hang around so we can share the love. All right. So Goose.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Goose. I am actually the co-creator of the game that we are playing with these wonderful people. I've been playing Soot, our subton engineer. He is just thinking, why can't we just have one goddamn crisis at a time? And you can find me in the Surge Discord, and you can check out our website at www.warptree.com, where we have a merch store where you can get cool swag like this hat. And yeah, you can catch me here every other Monday playing with these guys.
Okay. Let's go over to Riku.
All right, hey. So I'm Riku. Tonight I've been playing Captain Kedek, the Pontori captain of the WindRiders. You can find me on social media as Pup Riku or Puppy Riku, depending on the app that you're using. You can also find me on Five Tribe Productions, where I am playing Gaia Chronicles. I play Drolor, the giant time wizard. So definitely check that out. You can also find me here on the Halfling Wizards channel every other Wednesday for the Codex Chaoticum, where I'm currently running the roguelite. So come back and see that. Both Wormslayer and Kel are both in that game. It's been a lot of fun. I just sent Will our redeems we're going to have for that show soon. So you'll be able to help these adventurers out. And coming soon, I will be running a longer campaign, The Reign of Vecna, which is a really fun campaign I'm really excited for. Still working on some casting stuff, so be on the lookout for that announcement soon. But that will be coming around when Roguelite ends, so keep on the lookout for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. As for Kedek's thoughts, I think he's first thinking, I am never leaving the bridge again. I leave the bridge for 5 minutes. But also, I think it's just a rush of adrenaline. I think it's just the way he was running back to the bridge was basically, it's go time. Let's do this.
Awesome. That's fantastic. All right. Wormslayer.
Hi, everybody. I am Old Wormslayer. I was playing Freddy. You will be able to find me here every other Monday with this crew of misfits, and every other Wednesday with Riku and Kel for Roguelite, where I'm playing a rogue wizard that looks like a elemental for some reason.
Love
That
it.
is a bit of a hot head.
Haha.
Anyways. And what was the question again?
What their mindset is, having just experienced their first crisis.
Well, some of these new guys are handling it quite well.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that Aid was actually able to do something right. Mattered.
Love it. He did it great. Cool. All right. Lisa.
Hello, I'm Lisa, D&D Winterwolf on TikTok and Discord. I play Katarina, the security officer. You can find me every Monday night here on Halfling Wizards channel, either for WindRiders of Aria, using the amazing Surge system that I encourage you to check out if you haven't, because I love it. And then on opposite Mondays, we play Origins, which is a 5e campaign. Every other Thursday, you can find me also here on Halfling Wizards channel for a game called the Liminal Blink. We're about 2 sessions in, a lot of fun. And every other Friday, including this coming Friday, I'm on Celtic Wyvern King's channel playing in his Stargate campaign. Also a lot of fun. Katarina's mindset is, we've done pretty good so far, but now she's thinking more of, having heard we're not alone up here, she's thinking, defend the ship. This is what I'm supposed to be. This is my job. So she's in the mindset of be ready.
All right, cool. Crazy Gamer Lady.
Hey guys, I'm the Crazy Gamer Lady. You can find me on TikTok under Crazy Gamer Lady. You can also find me on Instagram under Crazy Game Lady, no R, because thank you, character limits. You can find me on X under Crazy Game Lady 91 because somebody beat me to Crazy Gamer Lady. Rude. I have a lot of alsos here. I can be found on twitch.tv/ADHadventures every Saturday, either playing Ikasi the Lizard Folk Druid on Unlicensed Magic, where we have just finished up a funeral, and now we're about to get some freaking serious shit done. You can also find me the alternating Saturday on ADH Adventures, where I'm playing Kara Mountainwood in Heroes Arc, who is a Drake Warden Ranger Life Cleric multiclass, who is literally under lawsuit for $150,000 for something that got wrecked in a place that isn't even worth $150,000. How does that happen? No one knows, but we're going to find out. Here's hoping. Let's see. And Elena's mindset towards her first crisis. She thinks she handled it pretty well. She would really like to not deal with that again, but she also knows that reality is not nice.
That
and
is very
especially
fair.
upon hearing that they are not alone, all she can think of is, here we go again.
Here we go again. All right, and of course, Kel.
And I'd like to say, time for my monologue. No. But again, I'm Kellen, also as a Celtic Wyvern King. You can find me on Twitch and TikTok under the same. You can also find everything on my link tree, which somewhere in the mix there with all of Will's Nightbot stuff, because a lot gets posted throughout our chats.
Yeah.
But you can find me every Monday for either WindRiders of Aria or Orlea Origins, which Origins will be next Monday, where you guys can play with Lisa and Professor Hexagon, aka Nick. On every other Wednesday, you can find me on here again for the roguelike campaign, where Riku up there gets to torture me a little bit with my dice rolls. Because we all know my dice hate me. And for those of you who are new, that's something you will see as a player. Dice hate me. As a GM, they love me. Anyway.
Hey, you did good last time. You held your own.
That time. Speaking of GMing, though, every other Friday, you can find me on my own channel for my Stargate 5e campaign, which will be this upcoming Friday, as we get back on track with the story, as some characters came to some new realizations, newfound hopes, etc. You know, that drive to get them going again. On the opposite Fridays, you can find me on Dinner and a Game for Walking Dead campaign Jazz Funeral. When Roguelite is over, you will be able to find me every Wednesday on my channel for two different campaigns. I'll be alternating. One is going to be a 5e campaign set in Theros, which is a Magic the Gathering plane. On the opposite Friday, I'll be doing my own Surge campaign, which I'm still working on the details for that, and I'll be posting soon about that on there. Am I missing anything? Or is there anything I'm able to say 100%? Nope, that should be it. And then as for what A's idea, or how A felt about the whole crisis, he's just glad he's fucking alive. Because again, like, even though he wasn't alive when Storm Pond blew, he knows what those kind of reactors can do damage-wise.
Yeah.
He could literally he literally could have taken a 2-hour trip to the coast and seen the damage.
That is a fair assessment. All right, and of course, I am Will, or Halfling Wizard, the person behind the screen over here. And just a couple of things real quick. We are having a create an NPC contest right now. It is going on where you can create an NPC. And you can enter it into the contest, and if you're chosen, we will work up that NPC to be basically a reoccurring character in the campaign. And also, for those of you tonight, you'll notice that we had Lieutenant M. Hatter, who is the NPC version of Mad Hatter, in our chat. They did a NPC me, which is a channel points option, where I literally create an NPC based on you and put it in the game. So now Matter, as he is known in the engineering or in the mechanics section, is now a reoccurring NPC in the campaign. So you too could have one, but you'll get a cool signed hat, Surge hat from the Surge folks. and possibly some Halfling Wizard merch as well. Since we have a merch store, check us out. All of our links are on Twitch down below. You can see where it says links. You go there. It also says, I think it says HWP merch. It says Surge merch. It says, et cetera, et cetera. So check it out. If you're not following us here on Twitch, you can give us a follow. We love new people. And would love to have you as a member of our happy little group here. But yeah, make sure that you come back next in 2 weeks to see who or what is in the clouds with everybody, because it's going to be fun, at least on my end. And we'll see how it goes. But oh, and also I want to thank all of our chatters out there that were chatting tonight. We love our chatters. We love folks in the chat that just go and have a good time. Thanks, Greg, who's also in the chat. He's the other co-creator of Surge. He's hanging out with us tonight. We love when he's in the chat. And all the others that came in. Thank you so much. We hope we will see you again next Monday when we do Origins. Come check us out with Origins. Origins is a fun one as well. But until then, we'll see you all for WindRiders in 2 weeks, everybody. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us for this Halfling Wizard production. Make sure to come back again soon to see what happens next, right here where adventure comes to life.